another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Sean. How are you?
Okay. How are you?
I don't know. You're vaccinated.
I got my first dose.
You're
Now, I don't know how.
You're half vaccinated.
Yes, I'm a halfie at the moment.
Is that the name for those
yes,
people?
Yes, if you only get one shot, you're a halfie. I don't know how I ended up in this wave because, like, if you look at it, it says certain things, and one of those things is you're supposed to have 2 high-risk conditions, and I'm just a fat fuck. That's only one high-risk condition. So I'm like, but my number came up, and did
they notice your credit card as a cheeseburger?
Yes, they did.
Is that because I remember that was?
Yes. Sean was talking about like how he wishes he had a cheeseburger on his credit card.
No, I don't wish. What happened was I went to go get my new credit card. Because or the bank that we go to, like you can get like different things. You get designs on your card, and one of them is just like a random picture of a cheeseburger. I chose to get like an 8-bit like thing,
right? Which
is cool, but one of them is like a random cheeseburger. And so I said to Jen, it's like, oh, if I have that, and somebody looks at it, they'll know I'm a fat guy. Because not by looking at me,
I was going to say,
by looking at the card,
be able to see you.
And they'll be like, oh, you must be a fat person because you'll have a cheeseburger on the card. It's like, oh, I try to eat it sometimes.
I think maybe that's it. Maybe they were like, you must obviously have a cheeseburger credit card. So here's the vaccine. But I don't know. I just got an email.
That's the only way you can get a cheeseburger credit card.
I just got an email from, the place I get my healthcare from. And they were just like, you have 48 hours to schedule a vaccination. And I was like, well, I'm not going to fucking argue with you people. You tell me I'm eligible, I'm going.
Oh, shit.
So I did, and I had to drive all the fuck way to Longmont, which is a very, very long way. Mm-hmm. But I got my first dose, and I don't have to go back again until April, and I will be fully vaccinated. Yeah. You...
As of this recording, yes.
Go tomorrow.
I go tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, because you got your email when I was actually getting vaccinated.
Yeah, I was kind of sitting there waiting, because I'm sitting there like, I want mine.
I don't know how is it because I live with you?
I think it might be.
And they're like, well, he's a cancer survivor. She's his wife. Give them both the vaccine.
Maybe they just took pity on you for living with me.
Maybe they were just like, she's really something. I was thinking of all the things I could say, and I was like, I don't have to humiliate myself that badly.
Excuse me, can I see the criteria, please, before I get this?
She's had it hard.
And let me ask you this.
Fat lady. Fugly fat lady. Just give her the fucking vaccine.
I'm in the fug wave.
Excuse me. Fuggos? Oh, yes. Right this way, ma'am.
Stop it. The fuggo wave.
Yeah, that's what it says. It says, 2 or more high-risk conditions, essential workers, grocery store, fuggos. Which I don't know why they wouldn't want to vaccinate the very attractive people so they can get back to.
Well, they already had it done.
Oh, you're right.
They're the first people. They got it even before the healthcare workers, the olds.
Yeah.
They're like, let's give it to the hots.
Now they're getting to the uggos.
Yeah, that's like now it's time for the uggos. Let's get the uggos. Let's get the uggos taken care of.
Let's get them taken care of. We already got the hots. Now we got to get the uggs.
Brad Pitt's done. Gal Gadot is done.
I am assuming all famous people have already had this vaccine.
Oh, well, I mean, I would certainly hope so.
Right? They have to have.
I don't know.
Excuse me, are you a movie star? You've already had the vaccine.
I mean, movie star could be a debatable term for a lot of people, though.
Have you been in a movie?
Oh, okay. I made a movie.
No, I mean, like...
Theatrically released.
Where was your movie theatrically released?
No, I'm saying, like, mine wasn't.
I was going to say, no, that doesn't count. You have to be, like, theatrically released. Like, were you in Beavis, you've gotten the vaccine.
Anybody that was in Batman v Superman gets a vaccine. Even the guy that got shot in the head, that was Jimmy Olsen.
Yes. If you're an extra in one of those movies, you got the vaccine.
Ooh, neat.
That's how it works.
Were you murdered in that?
Were you murdered by Batman?
Did Batman and whatever
were you the guy who Batman literally drove over? Remember when the car just hits that guy
it just
in the
head? It slows down and you just see the dude getting hit by the car. Just the arrow says vaccinated.
Yep, 100%.
That guy's doing all right.
Mm-hmm. That guy got vaccinated.
One of my favorite scenes.
Were you the guy in Wonder Woman 84 who had the farm? You've been vaccinated.
Oh, that's right. The guy who was like, well, I wish for cows, and now I don't have a place to put my cows. Or I wish for a farm, and now I don't know where to put my animals. What about the cop that says, I don't know what's going on?
100% that guy's already been vaccinated.
Yeah, there's a few saving graces for that movie. There's some bit
moments.
parts, some small bit parts of that movie that you need to respect.
Yeah.
But I get to go to as a list airing. I get to go tomorrow, and let me ask you this: it's been 24 hours.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I feel fine. I mean, it's still only the first dose. It's the Moderna vaccine. I have heard that the second dose is when you usually get symptoms. The only thing I've had is my arm kind of hurts. It's sore.
Well, yeah, because you got shot.
But of course, I mean, that's pretty normal. That happens when you get the flu shots. But I feel fine.
Boy.
We'll see what happens after I get the second one. You're going to, here's what doesn't make any sense. I went Tuesday and got my vaccine, right? You are going Thursday. And when you sign up, they give you a second appointment. Like, you don't even get a chance to schedule it. It comes in like a package. I had mine on Tuesday, and then I have my next one on like in April sometime, because I guess they have to be like 28 days apart or 30 days, whatever. And then you have yours tomorrow, Thursday, day this comes out, and you get to go back and get fully vaccinated before me.
That's strange.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Yeah.
Perhaps I am more uggo than you. They're like, she can get it first, but she has to wait. Like let the marinate. Like,
it's like
oh my God, what if I get this vaccine and I'm super hot now?
Oh, that'd be a great side effect.
Wouldn't that be fucking great? Like, I'm just like the hottest thing you've ever seen.
I mean, you are the hottest thing I've ever seen.
No, I would look like that chick from, oh shit, what was it? Where I was really mad. Oh, we were watching the Golden Globes and I got really mad.
Oh,
because that chick from the Queen's Gambit had like that blonde hair and she was like stick thin with that like green dress and she just looked like a huge bitch. I'm sure she's not, but that's what she looks like.
Yeah.
And I was like, literally my dream. That's literally what in my head, that's what I look like.
That's what you do. You want to win an award on a Zoom call.
Yes, I do.
And just look completely angry.
I'm sure she's very sweet. She might just have resting bitch face, which I get. But like, that's literally in my head, that's what I look like. And in reality, I look like a blobfish.
Like a blobfish.
But
stop it.
I am half vaccinated, so
yeah, that is good.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we are very happy about that, and I will be very happy once we get our shit taken care of. Shit taken care of.
You know what was really funny is like when I went, the guy, there's like a guy like walking up and down the hallway being like, oh, it's okay. Like, I know there's a line, but it's, we're moving really quick. And I was like, I don't care if I have to stand in this line because I'm happy to be here. And that was pretty much everybody there where they're like, we don't care. It's fine. We'll stand here for another fucking 20 minutes.
I've been stuck in my house for a fucking year.
Pretty much.
Standing in line for a half hour.
To get a vaccine, man, I'm happy to do it. So yeah, I mean, I was quite happy to be there and it seems like most everybody else was too. So
everybody was like, yay!
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What else is going on? There was a botch this week of epic proportions.
Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it, because not everybody's looking forward to it, but the Snyder Cut was accidentally released on HBO Max.
Yeah, under the title of Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. So if you were watching,
and it was obviously taken down. I don't know how long it was up. A couple hours maybe.
Yeah. If you're looking to watch a kids movie, fuck off. You get to watch this grimdark blob fest.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have to like it.
Yeah. Enjoy the CGI. I don't know. I mean, when does it come out? The 18th?
Yeah, I think it's soon.
It comes out like the day before Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So
the 16th. No.
17th?
Yes. I don't know.
Sometime.
Comes out on a day in March.
Yeah, it's coming.
It comes out in the Ides of March.
Yes. Well.
Appropriate.
Yes. So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm looking forward to.
I mean, I'll watch it for sure.
I don't know. I mean, I've already. I think it was when we were watching Justice League for the We Hate Movies commentary stuff.
Yeah. Geez, I forgot we even did that.
I hadn't seen that movie since we saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
And it was remarkable how boring that movie is.
Right?
Like it's offensively boring.
It's offensively boring, and I do remember, now that you bring that up, how tonally odd it is. Because you can tell this isn't one director. This is two directors, and they just mash them together.
Yeah.
It's like a Franken movie. So it's like super serious in this one scene, and then you have like the levity in another, and it's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mess.
Well, we're going to see how it's intended to be.
Well, I mean, we might actually get Darkseid, which I know we were saying, like, if you just got a glimpse of him at the end, that would have been so cool.
Well, we are getting Darkseid.
We are getting Darkseid. But remember how we were talking about in the Justice League, how it was if he just goes up in the mother box and, like, even if you just saw Darkseid's eyes, like, I would have fucking popped for that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And it didn't happen. So I'm like, well, I mean, at least we get Darkseid. He looks stupid, but at least we get Darkseid.
Yeah, at least he's here. It looks like he may look like a jabroni, but he'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
But
he's gonna look like CGI Glop, but he'll be there.
Well, he just Darkseid as a character looks like CGI Glop.
That's true. He does.
He's already like the correct palette, of which of what the DC universe looks like.
Yeah.
You can't really just feel like you can't really look at him and be like, well, Darkseid should be these colors. Like, no, he already looks like gray and blue. So,
yeah, that's true.
So they're just as long as you get the eyes right, which as long as they're red eyes, if you fuck that, you can't fuck that up. I hope. Yeah. But I expect to be disappointed.
Oh well, of course.
But I'm still going to look forward to it because I just look forward to all the think pieces. Actually, I don't look forward to think pieces. I don't read those things.
No,
I don't know why I'm saying this.
I mean, I do what I don't. I don't know. People have takes, and sometimes I was called to question the take culture the other day when my favorite person, my boyfriend, like tweeted out some review of like Wonder Woman and how people like the writer was just like, yeah, I don't think people got it. And I was like, wow, maybe people take this a little bit more seriously. And here I am just fucking making bad jokes on the internet. But I still didn't like Wonder Woman.
Well, there's people. I mean, that's the thing, though. There's people that are paid to be film critics. And that's their job is to
critique
and to question movies.
I just feel like I'm like, oh wait, what if you like really did work like super hard to like put something like Wonder Woman or the Snyder Cut or whatever into the universe, and then it comes out on the internet, just like shit, like you just fucking shit on it constantly, like just for the. I mean, I didn't shit on the Wonder Woman just to shit on it. I still have a lot of fucking problems with that movie, but I was like, yeah,
no, the movie's just absurd, but
it's absurd, and you stole a guy's body anyway.
It's absurd. I'm never gonna get over it. It's absurd and morally ambiguous, but
they fucking raped a dude. Like I'm never gonna get over it. I'm not okay with it. I'm never gonna be okay with it.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I could see how if you're like, wow, I'm putting out this movie that has like a message of like, we can save ourselves and love is the answer, and the internet just shits on it, you'd probably feel bad.
Yeah.
I'm still not redacting any of my comments about Wonder Woman.
No, you're entitled to your own opinion, thankfully.
Sorry,
everybody is.
I love you dearly, but I'm not redacting this comments. It's still fucking creepy that you stole the dude's body. Okay, there you go.
No, fair
you didn't write it.
And then the WandaVision finale, which I think is like the finale.
It is the finale. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not. We're not coming back for season 2.
Yeah.
They said what they had to say.
Yeah.
They did what they had to do, and then we're done.
Yeah.
And I was impressed. I mean, there was it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think
good.
Yeah, it was good. It was probably for me the most Marvel of all the episodes that we watched.
Yeah, most as far as MCU goes.
As far as like how it feels to be in the MCU for me. I liked it until the end. And I think, and this is kind of a spoiler for it, and I'm going to shit on something right now.
Mm-hmm.
But this is I feel reasonable critique. I did not like when Monica said to Wanda, they will never know what you gave up for them. They, as in the fucking townspeople, you just mentally tortured for however fucking long. What are you even talking about? You gave up an imaginary family. You had a whole bunch of fucking people literally and I realized she didn't know what she was doing. And I questioned.
No, she did though.
But that's the thing. I questioned that because Vision fucking told her 3 episodes ago, hey, I woke that dude up and he's in humongous mental pain. Can you please let him go? She knew what she was. I feel like maybe she didn't intend to do it, but she must have figured out what she was doing eventually, and she still kept up.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to be like, well, it's totally okay because Wanda gave up her family. And I'm like, it's not okay. You need to atone for what you fucking did to these people. And the fact that you're totally fine with mentally torturing Agatha, because she's a villain. I'm like, dude, heroes don't act like that. You put them in fucking jail.
Yeah.
So that was my big question with that. I was just like, I can't get on this it's okay now train, because it's not okay. Not without some serious fucking work. It's not okay. And that's my problem with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't buy that shit with them being like, oh, she didn't know what she was doing. Of course, no, she knows exactly what she's doing. She has so much autonomy over her powers. I feel like, she has more autonomy than, people are led to believe. Right.
And I do buy that maybe she didn't understand the extent of her power, or maybe
she's an adult,
but maybe how powerful she could be.
But obviously people were acting a certain way.
Right. But because here's the thing. She didn't realize at the beginning, she didn't realize that she did that.
Okay.
So like when she explodes and creates the hex and creates vision, and she doesn't realize that she's enslaved everybody else mentally. She didn't understand that she did that. But then we get when Vision is starting to realize something is wrong, and he's telling her Wanda, I don't remember anything before we got here, and I'm scared. And then he says, because then he's in the office, remember, and he wakes up that dude. And he's like, Wanda, I woke that guy up. He says he's in horrible mental pain. You have to let him go. What are you doing? And she's like, nothing. And that's when Pietro shows up.
Yeah.
So Vision's already told her. Then Pietro tells her, Agatha through Pietro tells her, and she keeps doing it. And then at the end, she's supposed to be like, I didn't do it. It's okay. No, it's not. You knew you were doing it 4 or 5 episodes, 3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
You knew what was happening. People were telling you what was happening. You just didn't want to listen to it. It does not, just because you didn't want to hear it, and just because you didn't intend to do this in the beginning, doesn't negate the harm you caused.
Yeah.
And she needs to fucking atone for that. And I feel like we just got this well, you gave up, fake Vision and fake family. It's totally cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not totally cool.
It's
that was my problem with that episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff wrong with that. And of course, her being an Avenger or whatever she is.
I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Are the Avengers still around now? I mean, with Tony dead?
I don't know. We'll find out eventually.
I guess.
We'll find out how we're gonna set that back up. Because everybody else is doing their own shit.
Right. Thor's in space, I assume.
Thor's in space. Hulk's still around.
Yeah.
Or he came. Or
where is Hulk? Did he go to space?
Wait a minute. Did Ragnarok happen after or before Infinity War Part 2, or Infinity whatever it was called?
Before?
Because it happened before, then he came back from space.
Well, yeah, because remember he was all rah, and then by the time we get to him in Endgame, he's
Endgame, that's right.
Wearing fucking glasses and a sweater. Because he had 5 years to podcast or whatever the fuck he ended up doing. He's teaching something, and he's writing, he's giving readings of his fiction.
He's writing down, he's doing think pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's critiquing the moral values of the Justice League.
It's all very Jonathan Franzen.
Yeah.
His fiction. David Foster Wallace shit going on over there.
So, yeah, he...
But I don't know if he went to... I don't know what anybody's doing.
No, I don't know. I mean, I know Natasha's dead.
The last time we saw everybody who was not Vision or Wanda was at Tony's funeral.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Right. So, Tony's dead. Natasha's dead. Captain America is old.
That's right, he is. I assume he caught COVID and died.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just...
I don't actually think he could,
that was the end of Captain America. He was just like...
He couldn't. He's a super soldier. Could he catch COVID?
I don't know. Maybe they used his antibodies for the vaccine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Am I Captain America now?
Yes.
Okay.
Go throw that shield.
Woo!
Go find a plate and throw it. See how...
Throw it like a discus.
So it comes back to me. Nope.
Nope.
Just went through that person's window.
No. Oh, bro, just broke.
Yeah.
Now I got to clean it.
So, so that's was the WandaVision.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was fine. And Captain America and the Winter Soldier comes out soon, and you know, as does the Justice League center cut. So we got lots to look forward to. You know, new hip things.
Hip.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with our book for this week.
It's Citizen Kane Minute. Hosted by film fanatic Rob Kelly and a collection of special guests, Citizen Kane Minute will examine the greatest film of all time, 5 minutes at a time. Coming soon to the Fire and Water Podcast Network.
All right, we're back here at Worst Collection Ever with our book for this week. It is King in Black, Thunderbolts, #1 from March 2021.
Oh, shit, new.
The newest.
Oh, my God. We're doing something that isn't 45 years old?
Yeah, right? Yeah, yeah, literally 45 years old.
Pretty much. Were you published in 1976? Then, yeah.
No, this is a new book that I purchased the other day because so here in Colorado the weather's really weird. And
it sure is.
For the past couple of days, especially this weekend, it was very nice out.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous.
It was it
was like 65 degrees. It was almost 71 one day. It's absolutely Colorado. I grew up out here. Yeah. I've literally never gotten used to the weather. It makes no sense. So it's pretty much all winter's been very mild. We haven't had a winter. So we've had a lot of these like really nice days.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty mild, and Monday, or was it Saturday, was just a particularly nice day.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
And it was something where you were like, I want to go somewhere. I don't know where the hell to go.
Yeah,
let's go somewhere. And now it's like, well, let's go to Mile High.
Yeah.
You know, usually that's my suggestion most of the time. But it's been like about 6 months since we've been there.
Yeah.
We went there like in October. It was before Halloween.
Yeah, and I had wanted to go up there anyway because last weekend I did like a virtual Zoom, or I sat in on like a virtual Zoom chat where the author Isabel Allende talked about her new book. So it was put on by like a library here in Colorado, whatever. So I just sat and watched it, and there's a store up in like off Tennyson, which is this street that's like kind of hip, and it's up by the Gothic Theater, or not the Gothic, the Oriental Theater, which we go to when we see like Lucha Libre and stuff like that. And so it's called Book Bar, and they were putting together like packages where you could get Isabel Allende's book, the woman who interviewed her's book, and then a bottle of wine for like however much money. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go get that, support a local business, get myself some wine, right? And a book or two.
Yeah.
But unfortunately they didn't have any to pick up because they're all sold out. So I'm just on the list. But I was like, well, my plan was to like go up that way anyway and just like do pickup. So fuck it. Let's just go somewhere, anywhere. Let's go to Mile High. So we did.
Yeah. So we went up there, and we were just... I wanted to get to a comic book store because I wanted to pick up some new books. I've been promising to do some new books, and I wanted to fulfill that. And the problem with Mile High, though, is that the way that they have their new books set up isn't very...
It's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like other comic book stores. Like
right, where there's just like a wall.
There's like a wall, or there's like a display, but the way that it's set up is like you have to go to like the far corner of the store in order to do that, you know, in order to look at the new books. And they're not really, I don't know, they weren't really arranged in such a way that I was like, oh, okay, I know this is exactly what's what. And because other stores you can go to, like other comic book stores, like they just have them, you know, like set up, and it's so much better, you know. But I picked some stuff up that I figured would be good for us, and figured that would be a good time to do that and check out some other stuff there. Just obviously I'm into the comic book figures and action figures there, and just looked around. I didn't actually go as crazy as I normally do.
Yeah.
I picked up a Catwoman figure, which I will open up on my YouTube channel, Angry Hero 79.
Yeah.
You'll have to check that out at some point. I'm gonna have to open that up, but I wanted to get I saw that for like a good deal, and I was happy to pick that up. And I think that was that. And I picked up some other comics. I think, yeah.
Yeah, you picked up, and I picked up like 2 single issues.
Yeah, I bought some single issues from some dollar books, and I mean, I didn't get a chance to think about this is the thing, like the books they have there, like the $1 books, it's such an overwhelming.
Oh, there's so much stuff.
Because there's so many boxes, and it's purposefully like a big collection. And that's usually like, I get overwhelmed because I want to look through all the boxes. Like I really do. Like, 'cause I really want to be like, I want to cover all my bases. I want to see if I got everything in here. Like, it's kind of like when we go to.
It would take hours.
Yeah, it'd take hours. You go to Dave and David Adams.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many places that are like that.
Yeah.
Where they really.
Just tables full of dollar boxes.
Tables full of dollar boxes, or, it just gets to be very difficult to be like, oh man, I want to spend time doing this, but I also want to spend time doing something else here, especially in a place like Mile High. Like, there's so much to look at and so much to check out there, and you kind of have to pick and choose, because the thing too is like, we're in the middle of this pandemic, and it's a comic book store, and
it's a warehouse.
It's a warehouse. It's big.
It's huge.
But the people come in there, and they're just wandering around, and you just. And especially, there's like a family in there. Yeah, that's the thing,
especially when the kids get involved, because then the kids, I mean, obviously most of them are just like, yay, and they're just like not.
They're just walking in front of you. Yeah. They're walking to the side, and also too, and I get why they do it, but I feel like I like to look at the action figures, and they have like this display, but these displays, and they have to open up the thing for you.
Right.
But then they have to like stand there and wait for you to finish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this isn't really helpful, because I know that you have other things to do instead of just waiting for me to look at something.
Right.
Like, I can sit here all day and spend my time just looking at all these things.
I know.
And just trying to figure out if I'm going to get something. But I don't want to waste your time,
right.
Other people's time.
Right.
So, it just gets really gets uncomfortable. And, but I get why they do it, because they probably have had it where people, have pocketed shit,
sure.
Ran out the door and be like, oh, thanks, thanks a lot. And they walk out with, hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. They were ripped off like not too long ago. Remember that?
Yeah, I think they caught that guy.
I think they did too, because obviously somebody's gonna be trying to flip some hot properties.
Yeah, some expensive.
So because somebody came in and
trying to remember. I feel like they stole, like they walked in and they broke some of those glass.
They broke
cases,
one of those glass cases
like
in the front.
Yeah, where because when you walk into Mile High, right at the front, there's a bunch of glass cases, and that's where they have some of those really valuable comic books. First issues.
Oh yeah, like literal like stuff that
like literally you could. There's comics there that cost $1,500
because it's like Avengers 1 or Avengers. It's
somebody broke that case and like took one of those comics.
It's the good stuff. Like it's the stuff.
It's the shit.
You're not just like going into a store and like maybe like a place like the Bug, and they might have like some notable books like in the front case or something like that. I mean, this is like real deal shit. I mean, it's all over the place too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's if you've never been there, you need.
It's worth it.
I love. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I personally could probably go there every weekend and not get tired of it.
Yeah,
but
I will say that some of their shit's overpriced.
Oh no, that totally is overpriced.
Some of their shit's overpriced. And that's fine. It's an independent store. It's probably the biggest comic book store in the country, if not the world. And what's his name? Chuck, I can't remember his last name.
Rosansky?
Yeah, Rosansky. He literally travels all over the country. He will drive. He just posted on Facebook the other day that he drove to Kansas City and like bought some dude's collection for $10,000.
Yeah.
And then he'll drive back and he'll sell it. He'll turn it and flip it. So he literally says, like, if you have a huge collection you want to get rid of, email this person and I will fucking come and buy it from you.
Come buy our collection.
He literally will. Like, he won't buy ours.
He'll be like,
He'll be like, this is worth $7. We're like, yay, $7.
This is worth an Arby's coupon.
Oh, no. But yeah, I mean, like, if you have a decent collection, he'll buy it from you.
Yeah, if you have some valuables. I mean, we do have some valuables.
Do we?
I have some like my dad's stuff.
Oh, that's true.
I have the first appearance of Molten Man.
We have like 3 valuables.
Yeah, I have some stuff that's like this. Yeah, I have this. Well, I have this one which we've never. Maybe we should just do it because it's like a 80-page giant Secret Origins, but it's not in very good condition. So people, but anytime though, like I show it to somebody, people are like, "Oh, whoa, shit!" But then they look at it, they look and it's like, well, it's not worth that much,
right?
Because it's it's
trash.
It's trashed, But I mean, and that's just how it was,
right?
I mean, my dad, it's an old comic. My dad wasn't sitting there trying to be like, "Oh,
who was back then? Nobody was.
I was always surprised though when my dad busted those things out,
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh shit, this is what my dad has,
Yeah, I would have loved to know. I'm sure my dad must have had comics back in the day, but I'm sure they were all gone.
Yeah.
By the time he, had
your
me.
Your dad throws out all the valuable. It's like stuff that could be valuable. Like when they clean out your uncle's.
I will never forgive him for this. This is the second. So this is the second thing I will never forgive. Well, third thing I will never forgive my father for. The first thing I will never forgive my father for is when I was a kid, he bought a computer. And this is like the old kind with the C prompts and the, all that sort of the DOS operating system. He bought this computer and I was like 9. And I started writing a novel about my cat, TC. And it was from her point of view. And I would go in and I would write and I had like 15 chapters of this book. I could have been some child prodigy, but I was writing this book and my dad found it on the computer and he deleted it. And I will never forgive him for that.
He deleted it by accident or just
no, on purpose. He was like, "Oh, you didn't need this, did you?" And he deleted it. He didn't even ask me before he deleted it. He just deleted it.
Shit, that's cruel.
And I was like, I was writing a fucking novel, right? No, he destroyed it. So he deleted that. And then, wait, what was the second thing I could do?
What was the other thing with your Uncle Lou?
Oh, yeah. So then my Uncle Lou passed away. My Uncle Lou was actually a Iwo Jima survivor.
Uh-huh.
He was a fucking medic at Iwo Jima. And he used to write in a diary every single day. Every day. So when he came out here to visit us, he would literally take time in the afternoon and he would sit down and he would journal about what happened that day. He had tons of these fucking journals in his house. I don't know how long he kept them. I don't know how long he'd been journaling for, but he had tons of these fucking books. And when my Uncle Lou passed away, he had no children. And I said to my dad, it was my great uncle, and I said, all I want is one notebook. I don't know what's in it. I just want to read it. Okay? Like, he spent a whole bunch of fucking time journaling. I just want to know what it says. They threw them all away. But he kept the pocket protectors.
Yeah, fucking pocket protectors. He's like, oh, these are valuable. It's like, no, throw away those books.
Because my dad
throw away those memories this man has been chronicling
for years. Every time he would journal every single fucking day. He would sit down and journal, and I was like, I just want to read it. I don't even know if it's probably nothing.
That's something I regret.
Not journaling?
Yeah.
I tried to do that at the beginning of the pandemic, but it really just descended into me being really angry.
That's the thing. I feel like if I would have journaled, there would have been some really bitter things being said in those things.
Oh yeah, no, I have some old journals over there where there's a lot of bitter shit.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would want to. I don't know. I mean, not that there's nothing wrong with actually putting that stuff to paper.
Yeah.
Because it's probably better than doing that than it's better doing that than expressing it in other ways, in public or whatever. If you're really angry, but I don't know. I mean, there's some stuff that is I kind of wish that I remembered, or just have some, being able to verify things, it's just, because things, weird things happen. Weird things have happened in my life.
Right.
That I like to keep track of.
Yeah.
And that's like concerts and podcast shit, and I just never got around to doing that. So.
Yeah. And I did, like I said, I did try to start at the very beginning of the pandemic and write about everything that was happening and what it was like to live through the pandemic. But it really just descended into how fucking angry I was at our government for not having any sort of proper response.
Yep.
And I was like, how many times can I write that? So
yeah. How many times can I be like, fuck.
Can I just write, I know we're.
Oh, we got to talk about this.
We got to talk about this because we didn't mention it. And I know this is supposed to be the review part of the show, but. So when we went to Mile High, I found this trade, or Sean found it.
Yeah.
And I bought it, and it's called Return to Romance, because everybody knows I love a romance comic. The Strange Love Stories of Ogden Whitney. So it says here on the back, I don't know who Ogden Whitney is, But it says Ogden Whitney was one of the unsung masters of American comics. He is perhaps best remembered for co-creating the satirical superhero Herbie Popnecker, also known as the Fat Fury.
I thought that was me.
Also me. But his romance comics of the late 1950s and 1960s may be even more unique. In Whitney's hands, the standard formula of meet cute, minor complications, and the final blissful kiss becomes something very different. An unsettling version of mid-century American romance as a devastating power struggle, a form of intimate psychological warfare dressed up in pearls and flannel suits. From suburban laws to offices to rocket labs to factories, his men and women scheme and clash, dominate and escape. It is darkly hilarious, truly terrifying, and yes, occasionally even a bit romantic.
We need to do something out of that book.
Yeah, I mean, they're all these like old 50s and 60s romance comics.
Well, just the fact that it's hard to find romance comics like collected.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably more collected than we realize.
Sure.
But at the same time, though, I mean, just stuff that's like in print, you know, because I mean, there's so many of them, especially in the 50s and 60s and 70s or whatever. Like, there's just so much of it. So the fact that exists is great, and I'm glad you got it.
Yeah, there's actually one in here called The Red-Haired Boy and the Pug-Nosed Girl.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, we'll have to do something like that. And it's like, oh, you know, I always love seeing these old crazy things. So I'm excited for that.
Anyways, let's get to the book at hand.
Let's actually talk about the comic.
Let's actually talk about something from this year.
Oh, fuck.
The year of our Lord, 2021.
Fuck me, man. I don't. How is that a thing?
King in Black, Thunderbolts #1, March 2021. So I think this is the ongoing, or it's just wrapping up the current like overarching storyline of Marvel, because we talked about something else that's coming up.
Yeah.
But this is
the Infinite something or other, the event.
Some other big event, but this is something that's going on right now. And I think it's pretty cool that, you know, there's this event that's going on that everybody needs to come together and deal with. And it's kind of like an old school thing, you know, like Acts of Vengeance or, you know, Subterranean Wars, things that they would, you know, have rolling across like different, you know, annuals or whatever. You know, I think that's neat. Atlantis Attacks, you know. So this one in particular deals with the team, the Thunderbolts, or at least the team of the now, because I feel like this team isn't really the Thunderbolts that is ongoing. If there is an ongoing one, I don't really know.
I don't know.
But it's very much like a Suicide Squad kind of vibe going on.
Yeah.
So on the cover here, we have the title. You know, the
usually what you have on a
usually
cover.
What you see. Yeah. The reason why I bring it up though is because it has like the O of the Thunderbolts. It has a little silhouette of the Kingpin.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, let's put a fat guy in here.
From a distance, I thought it was like, you know how sometimes it's like a chess piece?
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was. That I was like, oh wait, no, it's just a fat guy.
Yeah, just a big fat guy. I want a logo with just a big fat guy in it. Just put like.
Maybe that should be our new logo.
It's a logo and just a big fat guy in there.
Well, just us. Silhouetted.
Just in the O of worst.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
The O is gigantic and it's just us.
I don't know. We need a new logo.
We do.
I've been talking about this for years.
Theme song too.
We need a new podcast.
Make it just be like, worst collection in the world. It's the worst collection in the world. I don't know.
I can always find somebody to do a new.
Yes, we could pay someone who actually has talent to do it. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah. Now, what's wrong with our music?
It's just boring and standard.
It's not boring.
Sure, it is.
Rob Kelly said it would sound like a newscast.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
It's literally called The Greatest Cape.
Okay.
That's the name of the track.
Okay.
It's been our theme song for years.
Yes, it has. It's the beginning. Yes,
this show has been going on for it'll be 7 years this year.
Oh my God, fucking shoot me. My God, why? Why
you
are
and
we
I
so
have
old?
been, you and I have been talking for 7 years.
We've been talking longer than that.
Well, no, I mean like on the podcast.
Oh, on the podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've been together for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
been podcasting for a long time.
And
so yeah, so it was 2014, yeah.
2014
we started this, and we are 2021. So that's 7 years. Thunderbolts on the cover here. We've got the team of the Thunderbolts. So we've got Batroc the Leaper, Taskmaster with a very large and flowing cape. It's a ridiculous cape.
Yes.
Rhino, Star, and Mr. Fear.
Yeah.
Mr. Fear. So, and then they're being descended upon by a giant monster dragon. So here's what's going on. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing, King in Black, it's about there's a little blurb here, and it's actually makes sense here. So, for millennia, the symbiote god Null was imprisoned at the edge of the galaxy, but he's just been freed and has unleashed an innumerable horde of dragons on Earth. Thanks to Null's destructive forces, the world has been enveloped in a deadly symbiote goo. The world is covered in goo.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Kind of wish it was real.
I mean, I kind of feel like the world's covered in goo now.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we're in a metaphorical goo.
Yeah, we are.
The world needs saving. The world needs the Thunderbolts with a fat guy in the circle.
Mm.
So, yeah. So basically, the symbiote come from the planet Clintar, I think it is. And
Planet Clintar.
Krypton.
And
they are the symbiotes of the of Venom. So
that's right.
Because that's been fleshed out in the Marvel comics more over the past couple of years. What these actual aliens are, instead of just them just showing up and just bonding with humans and just saying it's aliens. Like they actually have like backstories and shit.
Yeah.
And this Null guy basically becomes like their leader. And he, is laying waste to the universe and made it to Earth because they're looking for Eddie Brock's son.
Eddie Brock has a son?
Eddie Brock has a son.
All right.
And there's like whole stuff going on where like it's very strange. It's I mean, I don't want to give too much away because it's still kind of going on now, but you could read about it. But like Eddie looking for Eddie Brock's son and then there's a thing where like Eddie Brock gets thrown off a building and he ends up becoming Captain Universe in the end. Okay. Because that's a thing.
Sure, that's a thing now.
Captain Universe. Ironically enough, I read in the Marvel Firsts, that book that I got for Christmas. It has the first appearance of Captain Universe, and he fights a guy named Mr. E.
Okay.
like a shadow villain of some sort, and that guy, like Mr. E, like factors into all this shit because he's like a shadow darkness or whatever, and like Black Knight's involved because he's got an ebony blade.
Sure.
So it's all sorts of hoo-ha going on. And I'm not exactly sure how it's all ending, but I picked this up. I figured we'd give this a shot, and we don't really do much Thunderbolts on here. I think we've done like one other Thunderbolts, and this isn't really the team, I guess. So it just feels again very much like, because at this time, Wilson Fisk is the mayor of New York City,
right? Yeah,
and the symbiotes were coming to New York City, and he was like, so the superheroes were like, "Yo, get people out of Manhattan because the symbiotes are coming."
Yeah, and
they're going to envelop everybody in goo.
Oh.
And very much like a person that we all know, Wilson Fisk was like, "No, I ain't going to do anything.
Let's just pretend it's not happening.
Let's pretend it's not happening because you're trying to discredit me by doing this.
It'll disappear, folks.
Yeah.
The symbiotes will disappear.
We have the most luxurious goo. It's the best goo in the state, in the country, or in the world. We have the richest goo.
Mm-hmm. Take hydroxychloroquine, the goo will leave you alone.
If you pour bleach down your throat,
yeah,
the goo will leave you alone.
If you pour bleach, I mean, that's true. If you pour bleach down your throat, the goo will leave you alone because you will be dead.
That's right.
Well, actually, maybe that's not true, as we will see in this book.
Yeah. I was confused by this opening page because it looks like he's giving a press conference.
He is giving a press conference.
Oh, he's giving a press conference. He's announcing that that the Thunderbolts
are dead. Yes. And so he's like,
But I feel like, are we going back in time here?
Yes, because you see.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, a few years ago. Okay.
So Kingpin's standing there and he's like, the Thunderbolts were great, but they're all dead and they sacrificed a lot for us. And then you cut to a few days before or a few weeks before. And he's like, you guys are a bunch of pieces of fucking shit. I hate you all. And he's talking to a room full of them. And he's like, here's the thing. I basically own you. Uh-huh. And much like with the Suicide Squad, now you have to go do this thing or I will kill you.
Yeah.
But at first he says, well, you could go back to jail. And Incendiary is like
Hereditary.
I'll pick jail. I'm out. And he's like, cool. So he leaves the room and then you hear a gunshot, and he's dead.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, he tried to escape. I don't know what to do. So now all the rest of the people who are there, who've got Rhino, somebody named Star.
Fear.
There's a whole room full of people.
There's a whole room full of these random villains. The notable one is Taskmaster.
Right.
And Rhino. I guess Rhino would be there. And Kingpin, I guess, technically.
And there's a lizard lady.
A lizard lady called Snakehead.
Snakehead. I don't know if she's actually a villain or if she's just made up for this.
She's just made up for this. Actually, so this is the thing. So Ampere, the Mohawk guy.
Yeah.
Who, because we didn't mention him, because he's not on the cover, because you know why? Because he dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler. So Ampere, Snakehead, and Incendiary. Incendiary, who looks like the Weird.
He does. Yeah, you're right. He does look like the Weird.
He's dressed like the Weird. They're all made up for this particular book, and then they all die. So everybody else though, like Mr. Fear is like a dog.
So actual villains live.
The actual villains live. So Taskmaster, everybody knows Taskmaster. Mr. Fear was a Daredevil villain, or at least started out as a Daredevil villain. At least I think so. Batroc, who is a Captain America villain. Batroc the Leaper. He's French.
Oh, I'm just thinking Batch.
Oh, Batch Rock. He's like, yeah, my villain is my powers. I got a big batch.
Sean refers to packages or penises as batches.
Well, your pants, if it looks like you have a batch. That's actually not that's not mine. That's
I know, but it's something I.
It's your science theater. Because sometimes there'll be dudes walking in with tight jeans with So
they don't want to call it a package; they call it a batch.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, his batch is coming towards me. Because they're on the screen or whatever.
So I was thinking Batch Rock,
and then he's a Captain America villain, and then you have Star, and Star's thing, and I just was reading up on her today. So she's kind of like the evil Carol Danvers of sorts.
Okay.
Because she started out as this, as this girl who had a terrible upbringing, and she ended up becoming a reporter, and she ended up getting abducted by some villains, and then she was very bitter, so she decided to become half Cree, and she developed all these powers.
Decide that.
Yeah, she volunteered for some sort of. She heard that.
I thought you were she was just sitting there. She's like, I'm fucking mad. You know what? I'm half Cree now.
No, she was gonna be. Somebody was doing some experiments. Some Cree scientist was doing some experiments. She was like, "Yo, sign me up. Put me down for half Cree." And so she became that, and then she was going around fighting Captain Marvel, and there's a whole story about her. She actually had a mini series or something sort of recently. She's only been around for a couple of years.
Okay.
So she's very new, but she's very powerful. And they make a point because all these other villains are there, and nobody questions these Incendiary or Snakehead or whoever the fuck those people are.
Right.
But they're all like, hey, who's the star? Why is she here?
Right. What the fuck's with this chick? And granted, she doesn't look like a typical villain. Her costume is more superhero.
She looks more like Starlight from
she really does. Yeah, she really looks like the way she's drawn and the costume she's given, she really looks like more like a hero than a villain.
So I do enjoy a lot of the random swearing in this book.
Oh, I do too. I appreciate it.
Like this is one point where Kingpin's like, Star's here for, you're here for a reason because you're very powerful, and he says, now you work for me. Stop this shit. Save the world. Become a hero. Parades and all that, and I'll make you rich.
Yeah.
Everybody falls in line, and they're like, I need you. This is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So you need to go. We don't especially say this here, but basically he tells them you need to go to Ravencroft Manor and find Norman Osborn.
Right, but he's just like, hey, you just have to go to this place
because this person's going to help us defeat these monsters.
Yeah, defeat the monsters. So they're like, all right. So they set out on a trek across the city, and it's
mind you, before this, he says, y'all got to take your masks off.
That's right, which I feel is strange. I don't really... He's like, well, you work for me, so you have to do it.
It's like, you don't hide, you show your faces.
And I'm like...
So y'all got to take your masks off.
Nobody knows who they are. You hired them as these people? Enlisted them, forced them to work for you?
Yeah.
Whatever. So, sure, they all have to take their masks off. And so they start, walking through the city, basically.
And it's covered in goo. Like there's strands of goo everywhere, and there's monstrous dragons flying around, and they're killing everybody, or they're doing whatever they're doing. I mean, I don't know if they're going. How much of the world they've covered.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know if they've gotten to Parker yet, where we lived, but New York City is definitely covered in goo.
R.I.P.D.
R.I.P. New York City. So
they start walking, and they're just pretty much all arguing, and all of a sudden this goo dinosaur type thing.
We get some jokes here.
Oh, jokes!
Because one of them is because they're named the Thunderbolts, and
that's right. They're arguing about
somebody's
it.
like, well, we should have a better name, and then I think it's Mr. Fear is like, we need a better name. We're heroes, right? Representing justice and hope or some shit.
Yeah,
we should call ourselves the Hope League.
Yeah,
I was like, ha ha.
Yeah, there's some jokes.
Yeah, so as they're walking, a big one of the symbiote dragons shows up and just bites the head off what's her face in half?
Yeah, a snakehead.
Snakehead in half.
Literally just bites it, and it's pretty fucking cool, actually.
Well, she bites it in half because Mr. Fear finds something on the ground.
Yeah.
He's like a really shiny penny, and then he just bends down, and that's when the snakehead gets bit.
Yeah.
So
in half.
It's pretty hardcore.
It's pretty great, and they're like, oh no, now we have to kind of stop this thing, and that's kind of what we see. Kingpin was like, the reason Star's here is because she's a heavy hitter.
Yeah.
And so she uses all of her power to basically annihilate this thing. But in doing so, it wipes her out. So she passes out a little bit, and the French guy catches her.
Yeah. Well, this is Mr. Fear uses his fear gun gas. That's
right.
His thing. He kind of uses it to get off balance. And she shoots him with her thing, and she gets weakened. I do enjoy though Batrock's outfit because it kind of just looks like he's wearing like a casual jacket.
Yeah, he's just going to the beach or something.
Looks pretty sweet.
But then after this thing is defeated,
good.
We get them pretty much everybody starts arguing again to be like, I'm fucking out of this because that thing just ate that chick. And our heavy hitter just passed out.
Yeah.
So fuck this. So Rhino walks off.
Rhino just goes, I'm leaving. And they're like, okay.
Yeah,
and
how are you going to stop him?
And they're like, yeah, I'm not going to try to fight him because he could literally stomp me.
Yeah. And then the guy with the mohawk.
Ampere.
He's like, you know what? I'm fucking out of this too. And then Fear comes up behind him and just stabs him.
Well, because he's he's
dead.
This guy's like, fuck this shit. And he's just, and so Mr. Fear is like, you're a coward. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
And then they strip him of his,
whatever his power.
Gimmick gauntlets or whatever.
Whatever gave him his powers is some sort of gauntlet-y things. And they give him to, Taskmaster?
Yeah, they give him the Taskmaster, and he uses it to kind of energize his sword and stuff.
Yeah.
So it actually works out.
Yeah. And they're like, all right, well, I guess that's that.
I do enjoy, though, when Rhino's leaving, and Batroc just goes, au revoir, hippopotamus.
Yeah, he calls him hippopotamus.
So
so he leaves, and then they're like, all right, well, let's continue on. And then they hear some fighting, and they come across.
Well, no, before that, we get a bit kind of stolen right out of Suicide Squad, where Mr. Fear just sees like pearls and like jewelry in the window, and he just smashes it, and they're like, because earlier they're like.
Oh, that's right.
Because Taskmaster's like, we got to find a boat and we need to take it, and they're like, so we're just gonna steal a boat. He's like, no, we're gonna commandeer it.
Yeah, because they're like, oh well, we're heroes now. We don't steal, we commandeer.
Yeah,
which I thought was pretty funny.
And so Mr. Fear like smashes in his window and starts stealing these jewels, and Taskmaster's like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, I'm commandeering these jewels.
Yeah, which I thought was funny. And they're like, no, leave it. And as they're doing that, they hear this noise, which is Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and who else?
Iron Fist.
It's
the Defenders.
Fighting the monsters.
Fighting the goo monsters and symbiotes, people who have become symbiotes or whatever. Yeah. I don't really know.
And they're like, well, we should help them. And they're like, fuck those guys. We're not going to help them because they'd throw us in jail. Let them keep doing what they're doing. We will keep moving on.
Yeah, Star's like trying to understand that, and they're just like, no, like we're the other villains.
Yeah.
The Mr. Fear and and the villains are just like, nah,
fuck it.
Fuck that shit. Those people suck.
Yeah, we're out.
Why don't they go and why don't they go figure their own shit out, because we're doing our thing. Mm-hmm. And as I say, it's actually kind of justified. If you're looking from a villain point of view.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So they like continue on, and then all of a sudden this like weird, they call him a drippy Spider-Man or something.
Yeah.
Is like sitting up there like, well, maybe he'll ignore us. And obviously he doesn't. It's like another symbiote. He comes at them. So they start fighting. Yeah,
and that's where Taskmaster uses his energized sword to
cut off the head.
Chop off his head. But this is a funny bit where...
This is very funny.
Because since everybody's been turned into these symbiotes, Batroc's like, there's a man inside there. And Taskmaster goes, yeah, it's like Venom. And then he's like, wait a minute, there's a man inside Venom?
Yeah. They're like, well, he took over like Spider-Man's costume and blah, blah, blah. And like,
now he lives in some bro named Eddie. And then he goes, Venom is Spider-Man's laundry?
Yeah. Yes, actually, that is 100% accurate.
But as it turns out
that these things can possess dead people because it took over whatever the fuck ampersand.
Ampersand. Yes.
It took over ampersand.
His power is to
the Mohawk guy
type,
and he cuts off his head. And this was actually my favorite part of the whole book, where Fear holds up his head and he goes, "Oh, I've never killed the same guy twice."
It's pretty cool.
And he's like, "Well, you didn't." Taskmaster's like, "I technically killed him. Don't get any of that fucking goop on you, you idiot." Because it'll take you over.
So then all of a sudden, a bunch of these monsters start chasing after them, and they're booking it, and they go to hop on a boat, but what's his face? Batroc is falling behind because Batroc's like trying to like hold some of them off or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's falling behind, and all the other Fear and Taskmaster are like, fuck him. We're just gonna head out.
And Star's like, well, no, I got to go back. And they're like, no, he knew what he was getting into. Well, of course, he's a leaper.
Yeah, he's a big leaper.
So he
and he leaps because he put the energized down his boots.
Yeah.
And so he's able to leap like this huge distance and hit the boat.
Yeah, because he took ampersand's shit and like gauntlets and put them on his feet. And so he jumps onto the boat, and then they get to the island.
Did they touch? He asks them, did they touch you? And Batroc does not get touched unless he desires it.
Right. And some guy's like, gross. And I'm like, no, that's right, Batroc.
Yeah.
You make sure that shit's consensual. And
consensual villains.
Yeah. And so they get to the thing, they go up to base Riven Rock or whatever. Rivendell?
Riverdale. Yes, Archie. They open the door and Archie's there.
But it's Norman Osborn. And they're like, oh, well, we're already dead.
You can even see from this distance because it's not like that close up. You could still see his weird hair.
Yeah.
Because he's always had that weird hair where it's like shaved. I don't know what it is. I actually would. I wonder.
I think you know what it's supposed to be. Have you ever seen dudes with curly hair?
Yeah.
And how if they slick it back, it kind of goes like the waves.
Yeah.
I think that's what that's supposed to be.
So he's got a really tight fro that's just kind of wavy.
I think it's just it's slicked back because it's wavy. I think he just keeps it short, but it's probably naturally curly, so that's why it looks like that.
I would like to try that.
You don't have curly hair.
That's the thing. Yeah, I don't think I pull it off. Too bad I can't.
My hair's not. My hair's just wavy.
Yeah, if I had curly hair, I'd be like, yo, give me the Norman Osborn.
Yeah, if you had really curly hair, you could probably pull it off. You have stick straight hair.
Yeah.
I have the curly fucking fro waves, but they're some are wavy, some are curls.
Yeah.
So I can't even pull that off either.
So yeah. So that's it. Yeah. That's how this wraps up. And did want to point out there's a new Morbius book coming out.
I saw that. I thought that looked interesting.
I mean, granted, there's so many like reboots. And I don't know if this is like a mini series or not.
I mean, I feel like they're probably doing it because when's the movie coming out? Who even knows anymore?
I don't know. I keep forgetting that actually is like done.
Yeah, we saw a trailer for it.
Yeah,
in the before times.
Yeah.
Now who knows?
Back when you could see movies.
Yeah.
Hey, once we get fully stabbed, go see a movie.
If movie theaters are open, right?
I think they are. I mean, shit.
Are things playing?
Yeah, I think so because I feel like we drive by them and people are like there.
I think they are.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. But that is it for King in Black Thunderbolts #1 from March 2021. I don't know how you feel about the rest of this. You want to keep reading? I have actually 2 questions. Do you want to read the next issue in this series? Because there's a #2. It's not just like a one shot. Mm-hmm. Do you want to read more of this crossover?
Good question. I actually didn't mind this book, and I feel like this is probably like a limited. This one, yeah, it's only like a couple issues. So I could probably handle reading that, and like because I'm it's only a couple issues, one in and out type of thing. So I could be like, yeah, I'd probably watch that or read that. Do I care? I feel like, well, maybe because I feel like it's all going to wrap up by the time we get to Infinite whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if it's easy to read, like in the terms of like collections or something like that, maybe I'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I did enjoy this Thunderbolts though. I did.
Yeah, it was fun.
I kind of dug it. I enjoyed the camaraderie between the characters, and it's a few characters that I'm not really. I'm familiar with them, but I'm not. Some I'm not definitely not familiar with.
Right.
But it's it's good to be educated. Because I did read up about it, a little bit, and that's kind of hip. So I was glad to pick that up because I figured, I was trying to find something readable, and that wasn't too like up its own ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's because sometimes like with these books, because there's like versions of there's like a thing with Namor going on. And then there's, shit with Spider-Man. And it's just like, I don't know if I'm going to dig this, So it was kind of like a weird pickup at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I need to invest in some more newer comics just for this, maybe for this show, just to kind of see how things are. Kind of step it up a little bit.
Sure.
As far as the newer times, maybe my next time I go to like Second and Charles or something, maybe I'll look up some stuff. Try to focus on stuff in the new millennium. Yes. In the past, something in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
And not in the past like 30 or 40 years. Because
can I still read one of my 1950s romance comics?
Oh no, of course we got to do something out of that book.
Yeah, we do.
We got to do something out of this. Which, by the way, that cover of that Return to Romance is weird.
Oh, it's real fucked up.
Because it's just a woman's face and her eyes are closed, but then like
there's faces on her eyes.
Yeah, but then there's like a superimposed people kissing on her over her eyes, and it looks like doesn't look right.
Right.
So, yeah. But that's it for this week's show. Thank you for listening. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Angry Hero Sean.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram. You can find the show on Facebook, Worst Collection Ever, and you can email the show, worstcollectionever@gmail.com.
And, of course, please rate, review the podcast on Apple Podcasts or anywhere that you get your podcasts. So many places, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever, there are whatever user, Pandora. I think we're on Pandora. So if you can find us there, check us out and give us a good thumbs up or whatever it is that is required. And find me on YouTube. I have a new video up with, I believe it's my Thanos unboxing. So it is comic book related.
Yeah.
And I think I did post it on our page. So on our page on Facebook. So if you want to check it out there, that's what I've been up to. And I got a few more things coming up too. So we'll have to share those very soon. And and of course, tell your friends about the show. It'd be really cool if you did, because I always like to get the word out. So, all right. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll talk to you again next time.
Bye.